Well, no, because you need the needle. No, you can have it sewn on there. But I didn't even introduce you, man. The legendary DJ Skribble. We ran into each other a couple times at the airport. I'm a fan of your work. You're gracious enough to watch me on Gutfeld. So
I also watched you wrestle, bro. People don't realize, like, when WWE did Sunday Night Heat, I hosted that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I took my first bump from Pat Patterson. He speared me. Of
course he did. Yeah.
Well, that's what
no. Pat would. He was one of his era, one of the greatest. But as backstage, as an agent, losing him, the work kind of. He was one of those guys. He always said something like, "Hey, a lot of people talking about it this morning, Tyrus," and I'd be like, "He's like, you know what they said." No, what'd they say? Nothing. And like walked off, you know? But when he took interest in you, that meant that he thought you had something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Because he would not waste his time.
Because when I stumbled off the stage, I bumped into Vince and I look up, I was like, way to take your first bump, kid. Yeah. And I was like, I got sockoed from Mick Foley. Chris Jericho beat the hell out of me. I wanted the Dudley Boys to throw me through a table, but they wouldn't do that for me.
No.
I wanted
They
that.
just retired. They had their little retirement match. That was kind of cool. So we had similar. Now, let's get into your beginnings a little bit before we get into the road. What drew you to music? So
I started DJing in 1980. I was just moved to Long Island. I was living in Elmont. I was in the park, and they had this park jam there. This kid, DJ Squiggy, he was DJing, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I was already doing graffiti. You know what I mean? I was bombing.
So you had an artistic part to you. It was just kind of misplaced.
I was already doing graffiti. That's how I got the name Skribble.
Right.
You know, so I was bombing the J trains. I was bombing the J's, the N's.
Just so you know, the statute of limitations is run out.
Yeah, it's totally run out.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. But the 2s, the 5s, and that's how, I was very into hip hop. And I started DJing. I would go to his house until I could afford my own turntables. And then I literally just started practicing every day. And I was 14 years old. I told my parents I was going to my friend's house. I jumped on the train, went up to the Bronx River Project by myself at that time. Little white boy. And I walked out, and, back then, Zulu Nation and everything, they had the security over there. And they're like, he's like, yo, white boy, are you lost? And I'm like, no, I want to meet Africa Bambaataa. They're like, what? So that's how I ended up meeting Grand Wizard Theodore, Africa Bambaataa, Cold Crush Brothers, and they took a liking to me and they saw my skills, and that's how I started to become part of the industry. And then in 1986, 87, is when I got into the Young Black Teenagers. None of us were black.
No.
And we were produced by Hank Shockley and Public Enemy. And instead of going into the Air Force, because that's what I was originally going to do, because my whole family was military, my father was, Air Force.
Was that a tough decision? Was your family okay with it?
My father, he was okay. My father was also a doo-wop singer. That's kind of how I got, my father was in the Ovations and the Velvetones. Oh, that's kind of how I got into music, really. And, but he didn't understand hip hop. He didn't understand my lifestyle.
I still don't.
Old school Guinea, you know what I mean? Like old school Italian guy, like he didn't get it. But when I got out of that, the first thing I did, I was on my first world tour in 1988 with Public Enemy and EPMD with the Teenagers. And we didn't ever have our first album out. And we were doing all our album off of breakbeats. The first time we went out there was in the Docklands Arena, our first show. And they announced the Young Black Teenagers. And they saw 5 white guys come out. And they were like, boo! They started throwing stuff at us. I got hit with a pair of sunglasses. I kept DJing. By the time we got to Germany, people started to see what we were about and know we could get down. And then we put out the first album, and then the second album, which we had the hit record, Tap the Bottle and Twisted Cap.
Right.
So that took me around the world.
I remember that.
For a while. And then I was with Dr. Dre, East Coast Dr. Dre, with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And I started rolling with him. And then I started doing episodes of MTV Raps with them. And then I got on Hot 97 on the morning show. So that's really when I left the Teenagers, and that's really what.
That's when you kind of got in
locally, you know what I mean. And then I was in the Rocksteady crew. I was a Rocksteady crew DJ, and then I did my first off-Broadway play in '94 at the Minute Lane Theater called Jam on the Groove, and then I did my first Broadway play with Bill Irwin at the New Victory Theater when they cleaned up 42nd Street. So it was like this whirlwind of what am I going to do, but like. At that time, too, when I left the group, I was homeless, literally homeless. I was sleeping.
It's always, betting on yourself is always a tough call because you're willing to risk what you have.
Yes.
Because you could have stayed in the group, get your check, and then, but.
Yeah, because we were getting screwed royally. Like when I found out how much we really got for our advance and what they did to us and what we actually got, we were that typical cliche rap group back then, you know, like Third Base said, a box of Newports and Puma sweats. Like that was it. You know, so when I got tired of that, I left the group. I had nowhere to go. I was sleeping on Dr. Dre's couch. Then I took a small job at Big Beat Records, and I was sleeping on Craig Coleman's couch, who's now the chairman of Atlantic Records. You know, and I was running around with the Artifacts doing stuff with them. But my big break, like locally, was Stretch Armstrong was the New Music Seminar. Stretch Armstrong got sick. The show was at Chippendales. And this is like when the night the industry like realized what I do.
Right.
And they're like, yo, Skribble, you got your records with me? I'm like, yeah, they're in my car because that's where I kind of live.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing the show and then just ripped the place down. I tore the place apart. And that's when like the actual music industry saw something in me and it started to develop. And then, like I said, I got on Hot 97, started the Traffic Jams on the morning show with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And then from there I went to MTV, and then that's because I was doing those little parts with, you know, on Yo MTV Raps. I did the final episode of Yo, which, you know, 30 years later, I produced the Yo MTV Raps 30th anniversary at the Barclays Center. That was my show with Charlie Stetler. And it was one of the greatest achievements in hip hop that I've ever achieved. Like, we gave back to MTV, like, let me do what I wanted to do. I always give props to them for that because they had really nothing to do with that show.
Well, how are they going to tell you how to create?
That was the thing. They were trying to, and then Bruce Gilmer, he was like, leave him alone. Like, and we did that show. I know I'm all over the place because I don't know how much time we have.
I'm always saying, leave me alone. Just let me do my thing.
Well, that was it. You know, we were getting calls from MTV. Well, the lower third cry on color as well. And then they were just like, leave him alone. I did that show and created that show with a good friend of mine, DJ Crush out of Louisiana, and 2 interns from 5 towns. You know, and it was like nobody could believe we pulled what we pulled off. You know, and it was incredible. But like my career, you know, with MTV, it was the catalyst who brought me to international, which got me to DJ in 60 countries, which, you know, there were so many things that I had first of doing that be called, you know, before AM, before all this, being considered the first celebrity DJ.
Well, you know, it's a lot to unpack there, but
yeah, I don't know how much time. I'm all over the place right now.
No, we're good. We're on my time. The biggest thing is like, when I hear you say longevity, because every name that you mentioned isn't around anymore. And some of them were big names, you know, and I find it like it's, especially the music industry, because it's changed so much. I don't necessarily feel for the better. I feel like the artist has just been choked out.
Well, there's no more artist development. That's gone away a long time ago. You know, now everything is not based on talent. It's based on how many followers you are. Yeah. Your marketing. You know, you have to now as an artist wear many hats, which where a label used to do all that for you. But now you don't even need the label because with the digital age that we're in and the internet, one click, you're global. Right. You hit enter once you post that record on SoundCloud, whatever you're going to do, YouTube, whatever, TikTok, whatever you're going to do, and you could blow up. And you don't need these big labels anymore. That's a fact.
But I have noticed, especially a lot of independent artists. When I think of like one of the greatest independent artists, I think of Ice Cube. Guy was. I'm still amazed by the fact that how young he was to not sign with Heller and them in the NWA.
I was in the studio with the Bomb Squad with Hank and Keith and them when Ice Cube did America's Most Wanted. We're actually on some of those records in the background.
That's my favorite album of all time.
Yeah,
I rocked that.
We were
in
in
my
Green
first
Street
car.
Studio every night with that album.
Yep, I was terrified of the Okie Doke. But to know, hey, I'm not going to sign, you know, at that age, because most of us, you're a perfect example. You're on a couch, they offer you a job. My first contract signing, I didn't even read it. I was just, I'm in. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later.
Of course.
Like whatever. I'll just make it work. I'll make it work.
You just wanted to be on.
Yeah, you know, and to when you see like a young guy who's like, nope. I'm keeping my intellectual property. I'm keeping my publishing.
Of course.
Keeping all those things.
Of course.
And he continued. I think he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time.
Ice Cube's nasty.
And then
still is.
Yeah, still is. I just got his new album. But the control is still with the industry because they're like, you're not going to get Emmys. You know, we get those. Not Emmys. You're not going to get
Grammy.
Like, Grammy. I remember when I was bodyguarding Snoop, we went to the Grammys, and they had him there all day to trick him,
right?
To think that he was going to get a Grammy,
right?
And the rap Grammy was given away off camera, like in the afternoon. So we're sitting out there and we're like, well, here's the main thing. Like Coldplay came out and he's looked at me and he looked at his wife and he was like, man, they just wanted me here for the ratings. They're like, we out. Yep. And we left. but it's like they don't. The artists they work, and it's in wrestling, it's in acting. They try to make to where the artist is so replaceable that they'll never have to deal with another Prince again. They'll never have to deal with a guy that can.
It's disposable music too.
Yes,
the music, like I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from new hip hop, but tell me a record that's come out in the last 10 years that's going to be around in 10 years.
I can honestly tell you.
Give me one. Give me one.
As you get older, you evolve, right? Because the stuff that we cared about when we were younger, you know, you wanted to get a girl, you wanted to have a nice car and a chain. Like that was, you know, and some money in your pocket.
Right.
But then you get older, you have kids and stuff, that's not really on top of the thing.
Right.
So when you listen to stuff, you either want to hear a good reminisce or you want to hear something that's current or whatever. I think a lot of times it's just like boxing where a rapper, when he's hungry and broke, he's just spitting. And then he gets successful and he got nothing to rage about anymore, you know? So then you got to be an artist.
Yes.
You got to be able to create.
But, you know, Jazzy Jeff said it best. When you become successful, that's when the real work begins.
Right.
Because to maintain that, I mean, you know, everybody pushes you up, as you know. You're in an industry, you were in an industry and still are, they push you. But when you get to a certain plateau, then that next level is coming to try to take you down.
Yeah, and there's always, for every time you're going up, there's at least 10 people around you.
Without a doubt.
Trying to knock you off the
Without
thing,
a doubt.
you know, with a smile on their face.
And then you become a circus trick because you're only as good as your last act. Nobody cares about what you did yesterday. It's what are you doing today?
Yeah, you have to be better. I always say,
always.
Whenever people ask me, like, what is your goal whenever you go out on TV or stand up or wrestle, I have to be better than the last time I was out. That's the only way you can maintain.
Mm-hmm. And that puts a lot of stress on you too, because it's like
it's stress in every aspect of your life,
without a doubt. Because like everything you do, because as you said, we got older, we have kids who have all these other activities that we got to maintain that cost money. Then you got college, so you got to, as you get older, and you're not that young guy anymore that was at the top. That's
hungry and will stay up till 4 days and 4 nights.
I'm still hungry. I'll still do that, but it's a different world because your audience gets older and they move on.
Right.
So now you got to try to redo.
You either grow with them or you keep bringing in new. And I always think if you grow with them, is better because then you can add more to it. But that's where the real, in any aspect of anything, to keep people tuning in, especially DJing, because the computer, the AI, everything's changed. Like it's not the same thing. Like, you know, DJ battles and you could, the one thing that was good about a DJ is that you could mix it in any genre.
Yeah, and that's what
boxing,
I was known
DJ.
Well, that's
Def Comedy Jam had a DJ. Wrestling events should have always had a DJ.
Right, but I never wanted to be pigeonholed into one style of music.
Right.
That's why I was doing mix and rock in mashups.
But you have to.
Right.
Because all music is. I don't listen. Like I honestly tell you, the album I'm playing the most right now, and it was like by accident, is Shabuzi. Like I heard the Tipsy song once, and I was like, you know, it was clever, it was good. I didn't think much of it. Right. And then I was just flipping through, I was driving, I think we had like a 4-hour drive, and
you got into it.
I just clicked it, and because I was looking to add stuff to my playlist, and I just let it play, because I was making a point where like, I can't just, when we were growing up, you get a CD, you just press play.
Yep.
And it'd be 13 hits, and it'd be like maybe 10 money. Yeah. And a couple you'd be okay. Yeah. Like I remember, I don't think I ever skipped Scarface, The Diary, or anything Pac or Biggie had out at that time.
Definitely not skipping through any of those.
No, you weren't skipping any of that. You were just letting it play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snoop's first couple albums, same thing. There was just Warren G and those guys when they came out. Like it was just I was all West Coast.
But there was but think about what you just said, right? All these artists that you just mentioned, right? It was like this color, like a Bob Ross painting. There was all these different colors of styles. Like you knew if it was an NWA record, if it was a Public Enemy record, if it was Nas, if it was KRS-One, if it was Mobb Deep, everybody had their own style. Today, I couldn't tell you who's who.
No, I think once the auto-tune and I think things changed when the Southern style of rap kind of took over.
But some of the older early 2000s Southern rap was great.
Master P and they had it.
You know, it was incredible. It was just,
but it just turned
really
into
dope.
like auto-tune.
Yeah. And the
rhymes went away.
There is no.
It was just kind of sing rapping.
But the kids today, I mean, that's.
But the kids like it.
They like it. And
like
we can't sound like our fathers.
Because I do.
I do.
I was like that. Man, that's terrible.
I do.
That's terrible.
I sound like my dad now. I look up at the sky all the time and go, "Yep, I get it."
Yeah,
you know, I do that a lot.
Listening to.
But it's like, why though? Like, what happened to like Ghostface new album? Supreme Clientele 2 is retarded. It's amazing. You know, it's Redman's Muddy Waters too, amazing.
Man,
but
Lala,
is that because
Lala is the hit? I heard Lala went nuts.
Yeah, but is that because we love that sound?
Yeah,
and
it's what we grew up on.
Because these kids don't like it.
I'm retweeting on X, and this is getting nothing. I'm like, you got what are you?
Nothing.
You not hearing this damn song?
Nothing.
And it pisses. But you know what? It's okay to get old because we still buy.
Right.
You know, like at least there's some stuff for us because there's nothing for me in the new stuff.
No.
Because I cannot relate.
No. And I mean, that's why most of the shows I've been doing, I've been very fortunate. Like a lot of these shows I do now are either like I love the 90s, Pop 2000. I do a lot of stuff with Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC. Been doing a lot of stuff like with Vanilla Ice, Raw Bass, you know, Montel Jordan on I Love the 90s tour. Then I do the Tacos and Tequila tour with T.I. and Rick Ross and like stuff like that. So I've been doing all of these big concerts. I'm kind of spoiled now because I haven't really done clubs. I've been doing all these awesome like throwback shows, and I get to be me, and I get to do what I want.
Are you know, because the pandemic kind of hurt the industry.
Hurt me. I mean, I didn't
destroyed everybody.
I didn't work for. It was decimated me. I didn't work for 18 months.
Are they coming back to the concerts? Is it?
Yes,
it is coming
absolutely, 100%.
Is it 100%. A different crowd? Is it the older crowd?
It's an older crowd. It's the crowd that grew. That's what I love about it because they know who I am. They know who these artists are. They want to be, and they have money too. And they don't want to be like, let's say Vegas, right? They don't want to, like the pool parties are great. Marquise Pool, all these, it's great. The DJ, but it's all young kids. And at our age, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm an old bastard.
No, listen, man, when I was bodyguarding and we went to Vegas and did pool parties, I was like, it's too crowded, it's too hot, and all these people get out of my way.
Right.
Because I don't have time.
Right.
I don't want to hear anymore.
Right.
Like, yeah, once the music got loud, once I told my kids, hey, turn it down, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, and there's no place for this, our age group, that Gen X age group, to go. There's a few good parties that are happening, like these day parties now, that are just like 35 and up, and it's just all like early 90s and 2000s music, and it's over by 7 o'clock and everybody goes home and has a great time.
You gotta get to school.
Yeah.
And you know what? What's crazy to me is because I think about the ability to continue to reinvent yourself, and I don't mean any disrespect by this, but like the DJ to be able to get on the ones and twos, the actual album and spin and create has kind of gone by the wayside because now you have guys who just press play.
Yes, I don't do that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I never will.
And here's the thing: there is a difference. No, they'll say music. No. There is a difference. It's sound. When they brought albums back, at first I was like, it's dead. But I like the sound of the music coming off an album better than I like hearing it coming out of my Apple player.
Of course.
It just sounds like
so
you hear everything.
Even with me, right? Even though it's digital now, I don't play MP3s. Yeah. I only use a WAV or an AIF file because it's just sonically that much better. And I don't use Serato. I use Rekordbox, which is from Pioneer. And to me, that program just sonically sounds better. And I love Serato, don't get me wrong, they're great to me. But for my choice, and because I cut a lot and scratch a lot, the industry standard with most DJs in hip hop is Serato. And the industry standard in house music is Rekordbox. But I love Rekordbox for both. Like, so if I'm doing a house set and I'm on the CDJs, yeah, I'm showing up with my little stick and I'm doing my little boom boom thing. And because I have two sides, right? There's street slang, which is all my tech house stuff with my partner Dom Tafaro, that we have a bunch of records out. Like I have a big record coming out with Busta Rhymes in January on Bombosa Records, which is Harry Romero's label. And the Martinez brothers have been playing it for like 2 straight years and we haven't put it out. So we can't wait for that to come out. And then you got the hip hop side of me, which is still balls to the wall. I got to perform. I don't care if there's 5 people or 5,000 people. I'm doing my show.
It doesn't matter what the size. You go out there because if you only have 5 and you kill it, you're gonna have 10 next time.
Correct.
You got to
build.
That's
the way that's my mindset all the time. I mean, from everything I've ever done, like I've gotten to do from a club to the Super Bowl to the Pro Bowl to the All-Star Game to being the first DJ ever to headline a USO tour during the war in Iraq. Like, you know what I mean? I was in Iraq and by Syria and all over Kuwait, Iraq, on the border of Afghanistan for almost a month with Naughty by Nature. And that was one of the most greatest gigs I've ever done in my life. I love doing a lot of stuff for the military because I was supposed to go into the military. Like
right, so it's nice to give back.
Yeah.
Do you ever see like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame putting DJs in?
Well, I think they did, and I think they put AM in.
Did they put AM in? I know he was nominated. I didn't know if he got in.
I think he got in.
But there's
And
a
I love
long
AM.
list of
AM,
guys.
yeah.
But there's a long list of guys.
Yeah.
That yourself
But I never
included.
got into it for any of that. You
No,
know?
no, no. But you should. Well, you can't. Here's the thing about a Hall of Fame and anything. No one gets into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Just one day, someone looks at you and says, "This guy's a Hall of Fame guy."
Right.
You know, when your name, people say, "Yeah, this guy's one of the greatest of all time."
My biggest thrill is when I have a kid, even a young kid today that knows their history, you know, about DJing and everything else, that comes up to me and says, "I became a DJ because of you."
Right.
I'm
yeah,
good.
I get that with wrestling.
Yeah, and right,
TV,
I'm sure you get that with wrestling and TV. It's the greatest, other than my children, is the greatest thing that I could ever be told, because that means I've touched people from here to Japan to all over the world. And back then, think about it. Like I said, now you press a button, you're global. Back then, you had to have a physical piece of music, whether it was a cassette, whether it was a physical piece of vinyl, a CD. You had to have a physical
everything.
thing
You had to wait
to know who I was.
Yeah. And to get it somewhere, you had to actually go there. Even toys, like when I was a kid, if you wanted the new G.I. Joe guy, you had to say 4 proofs of purchases and mail that shit off and wait 16 to 18 weeks to get your Sergeant Slaughter dog.
Yeah.
Everything had to be done.
I was the first DJ to have a toy too.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I had Skribble Spinheads.
That's nice.
Yeah, in 2003. We're the number 3 selling toy in Toys R Us that year.
Hey, you know they're bringing Toys R Us back?
Yes, they are.
I'm
happy
actually excited
about
to do that.
that.
I'm happy about that.
love
It was one of
Toys
the
R Us.
happiest places in my life.
Of course.
Because whenever your mom brought you to Toys R Us, good things was going to happen.
Good things were coming.
Only if the evilest of parents would take you to Toys R Us and not let you get shit. Just let you look.
Exactly.
I remember
I had a toy out called Skribble Spinheads. And it was like little things.
It's a cool thing. Like when I had my action figures come out, like the first.
That, when you come on, bro.
When that came out, I just remember staring,
looking at it, and be like,
man,
wow, that's crazy, right?
I was 12 again, man.
Right.
I'd be like, you know what? But let me ask you this though: with all your success, I deal with this a lot, man. Do your kids like your work? Do the kids like your music? Because my kids don't watch me.
My kids, you know, it's funny. My
because they know you, right?
Right. My oldest is in High Point University. He's actually taking media production to be behind the board out there and everything else. My middle guy, he's going into the Air Force and he's going in ROTC. My daughter, she's really into music, and my middle guy's really into music. My daughter's more into my stuff than my other kids, though.
Right.
But they've gotten to experience some really cool stuff, you know, wherever it is because of what I've done. I mean, they've sat ringside at WrestleMania. They've done America's Got Talent. They've seen me perform at a very high level at stadiums and arenas, and that's when they get the kick out of it. But to me, I'm just dad to them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get that all.
I'm not cool. I'm not cool.
The biggest thing my kids hate is when people come up to me.
Yeah.
And be like, "Hey, Tyrus, blah, blah, blah." And I remember my daughter was like, "That's not his real name. His name's Dad." You know, and I was like, "You tell him. You tell him." But I'll be like, "Hey, I got a new toy out," and they'll be like,
Yeah, they don't care.
Do you have Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
You know, and you're like,
yeah,
sure. Yeah, you know, like,
Jack, can you get
my
me
son does that to me all the time.
Same thing with the kid, like my older.
I need the
Can you get me
Usos. I'm
tickets to
Team
go
Yeet.
see Swedish House Mafia? I'm like, yeah, all right, great.
Yeah, but they opened for me. But how do you now, being a life on the road is not as glamorous as people think. When I've been all over the world and they're like, what sites did you see? And it's like hotels, airport, show.
That's exactly
repeat.
right. I mean, there's a few times that I've gotten.
There's always an
when
Easter
I was
egg.
in Jordan, I got to see Petra. I've gotten to see some really cool. But I made it my business to do that, no matter how tired I was. You know, when I was at the top and the peak, you know, I rolled with 3 people, and you know, everybody's rolling out red carpets for you. You get to do whatever you want. You know, as you go, I travel by myself, dude. You were traveling by yourself. I mean, it's like, I got to put money into my family right now. Like, that's it. Like, I don't need all that glitz and glamour. I don't, you know, give me a good hotel room, make sure my equipment's right, and a good sound system. I'm happy.
Yeah, I do my tour with just me and my little tour manager.
Yeah, I'll take a tour manager with me too.
That's about it. That's just to keep, you know, so
I
all I got to do is go in there and I just do the mic check for me, do all that stuff for me.
Sometimes when you're on the road a lot and you're by yourself and you're sitting in your room, you start going through your head. You don't want to do that either.
Well,
so I like to have somebody with me.
It's a lonely life.
It's very lonely.
You know, and that's a lot of people, they just see the result. They see they don't
see the early flights of, you know, like for instance, you know, I did Spokane the other day. The flight was delayed. I didn't get there until, almost 4:00. Went right and did sound check, did the show, stayed for 2 more hours, got back in the car, back to the airport, back home. You know what I mean? It was like,
and then as soon as you walk home, it ain't rest and relax. It's like, hey, take out the trash. You gotta deal with this kid. You gotta deal with that. This bill needs to be
I'm
fixed.
lucky that way. They know when I come home, especially if I do an East Coast, West Coast, or I do a longer run. When I come home, just give me that day. I just need that one day to decompress. I'm very lucky like that.
Yes, you are.
My girl takes care of me like that. She does.
Well, we got. Well, the problem is that my family travels now too. So when I get home, the wife's exhausted because they've been doing horses.
And usually
for 2
that's
weeks.
Sunday, so that's the only day I got. Because then Monday is CCD for my daughter for religion.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday is practice for my daughter for softball. Wednesday, she's been invited to Rutgers, and she's now training with the coaches over at Rutgers. She's only 13, and they told me some amazing stuff last night about my daughter, which was incredible. And then then Thursday's practice, and then Saturday, Sunday's tournaments.
Right.
But you also miss a lot.
A lot.
Like I never missed. I made it a point, and this is when when my kids were born. I was at the top of the top, and I could call more shots. Now stuff. Like she's got a tournament in Hershey, Pennsylvania this weekend. I'm not going to get to see it.
Right.
My girl is taking her, and she didn't birth her. Like, you know what I mean? Like she didn't sign up for all that. So you also have to have an incredible support around you as you're getting older and you're in your seasoned years, to have that support around you from your family. Because without that, bro,
and
you
they got to keep
crazy.
it real with you. Like,
my girl keeps it real. All right.
She just, hey, I don't care who's cheering for you. This is where it matters. The cheers, the only cheer you should care about is what comes from home.
That's all I care about.
And the first one to tell me, like, hey, you're getting a big head.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, my girl will. Pop me in 2 seconds.
And sometimes you don't want to hear that because the ugly side of it is that a bunch of strangers will tell you whatever you want to hear.
Of course.
But there's nothing there. It's an emptiness.
But have you not noticed as you got older? I don't know if can I curse on you?
Yeah.
There are you have no left to give.
Yeah, no, exactly right. You don't mix drinks anymore.
You can't be. I can't be around negative people.
No.
Like this. As soon as I hit end, goodbye.
Yeah,
I can't be around you.
Or they're complaining about everything that happens is somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Or anything they do wrong, there's a reason for it.
Yep.
When I'm like, why is this done this way? Well, you have to understand, this morning I got up and my mother, what does that have to do with what we're doing right now? Do you want to hear what I heard this morning? My wife called me an asshole and said I was immature and to shut up. Am I crying? Am I not going on tonight?
Right.
Like, she hung up on me 3 times. Like, what,
We're here, right? We're here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still got to go on.
Yeah.
I can't be like, hey, I had a fight with the wife and feeling kind of down, guys. So I'll see you all next week. No, hell no, it doesn't matter.
No,
Rain,
nobody
sleet,
cares.
snow, go. Nobody cares. F you, do your job.
Nobody cares about that. And that's the one thing I've noticed as I've gotten older and doing these shows, the most important thing and why we do it changes as well.
Yep.
I never dreamt in a million years that I would get to the level that I got.
If you told me that I was going to be interviewing presidents and shit, I would have looked at you like you're crazy.
Right.
What would Fox News? Why the hell would I be on Fox News, bro?
Exactly. Like, you look,
it never crossed my mind.
And I've watched you from the jump when you got on here to what you do.
Because when I first got on, I was like looking like I was going to get hit by a car or something, because I was like, man, my acting career is going to hell.
Right.
The rest of WWE was like, oh, well, you're on Fox. I don't know if we can do a reunion, And now you stay the course because I was going, I'm going to bet on me. And then I look at like, maybe if I would have, because my situation was I wanted to start doing more. And it started with all due respect. I got tired of being told by people what my success level was going to be. That's the thing about wrestling is that people don't understand. And not just that. It's like you want to be the main lead and you keep getting cast as the co-star. And then you get to a point where like, no, I want the lead. And they're like, we don't feel you're the lead.
Right.
So be happy with what we're putting you in because you know what? There's about 100,000 other guys that would take that chance. And then you have to make a decision. Do I just fall in line or I say, you know what? No. I'm a top guy.
You know how many times, and from a different life I had, that were telling me like, yo, you're done, give it up.
Yep.
Luke's on, your time is gone. No. Like, no.
I say when I'm done.
Exactly what I said. I say when I'm finished, when I'm done, and you're not going to tell me any different. And I did, because to me, I always tell my kids, can't means won't.
Yep.
There's no such word.
And here's the thing, though. When there are some situations where you see a guy who stays too long, but it's always somebody who was was on the top for so long, and then instead of having a graceful, like the time is up. Usually it's an age thing, right?
Right.
It's usually an age thing.
Right.
And then the time where you should be retiring and smelling the flowers and letting the next guy come on.
Right.
Those guys that hold on. And wrestling ran rampant with it. Like all the legends, the top guys would refuse, the list goes,
because listen, it's also
because they never bothered to invest in anything else but what they were doing. Their family life sucks. they've alienated everybody.
Yeah.
The crowd was more important than being home. And stuff you have to learn by, you have to screw up and lose a lot to realize that I just ruined my marriage because I wanted to stay out late drinking with the boys at a bar.
Right.
And then you get to the point where you're like, I'm going to lose my marriage if I don't change or whatever your situation is, because eventually the crowd stops. That's the thing. The quietest time is when the show's over. You walk back in the green room, everybody's gone, and then it's your life.
Yep.
And the worst feeling in the world is if you look in your phone, there's no text like, how's the show?
Yep.
Miss you, can't wait for you to get home.
Yep.
And there's nothing there.
And there's
That is
nothing.
the worst feeling in the world.
I know it. I've known that well.
I've been, like I said,
I've been there.
Yeah, my wife is she's earned her bars, but it's you think about, and then you realize, and it always takes you have to get older. You have to, once you start getting once you start getting around that 50 range.
How old are you?
52.
I'm 57.
So yeah, once that 50 hits, your entire mindset changes. Also, everything else changes. Can't get out of bed the same way anymore.
God. Tell me
my son wants to wrestle with me all the time, and I'm like,
Tell me about
I used to be able to throw him around like nothing, and now he's 14, he's 6'5", and he grabbed me the other day, and I got mad. He just grabbed me, and I was like, hey, don't you ever?
Yeah, no, my middle guy.
Baby.
My middle guy was the one my father said to me. He's like, I hope you have one just like you, and that's my middle guy. That's my Frankie. But watching him grow. And how I've raised these kids is I look at it through their eyes. I don't look at it through my eyes. I was that age once. I know what I did at that age and how crazy. So when I'm trying to discipline or I'm trying to, guide them, I also put myself in that position again as a kid.
And do you allow them to get the bumps and scrapes?
Huh?
Do you allow them to get the bumps and scrapes? It's hard.
It's hard sometimes.
But you gotta kind of let them. You gotta let them.
And as they get older, when they get to that, my middle guy's 18, my older guy's 20. He's gonna be 21. So now, you up. You gotta
take the L.
You're gonna take.
You gotta go through it.
It just
I'm here, but I'm not pulling you up.
It just happened. He came home for fall break last week. And he wanted to see his girlfriend, and he wanted to go to the college dorm and see. She goes to Seton Hall, whatever. And he didn't get it cleared that he could stay over there, but he still went anyway. And I knew it was going to happen. And sure enough, 11:30, Dad, I can't stay here. I'm like, well, now what you going to do? How you getting back?
Yeah.
Can you send me money for an Uber? I'm like, no.
You got your ass in it.
I mean, I did it. You know what I mean? I got him home.
At least made him sweat.
Oh God, I tortured his life.
Let him sit for an hour.
Yeah, I tortured his life. Now I torture their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I wouldn't even called. I would have just started walking. I would have just started walking.
Nah, my fault. I would call my dad.
Oh, man, my mother would have been like, well, first of all, what the hell are you doing with a girl anyways? My mother would have been like, my mother didn't play. She's like, I'm not going to be a grandmother before I'm supposed to be. So
nah, that's the one thing, at least I hope. They're smart kids. They never got into the social media stuff. They never got into the drinking. They never, and that's the scary thing. When you send these kids off to college, and, I know what kind of crazy son of a bitch I was growing up. I was a rock star at one point. What I mean?
I think it's different because Generation X, we had to do everything for ourselves.
Yeah.
Our parents were, they were just
there to make sure if we didn't
go
kill
outside.
It. Yeah, if we were bleeding, then they would worry about it.
Yeah, put some mud on it.
Now, now we look at our kids, they get a little scrapes. Like, oh, let me fix that.
And I butt heads all the time. I like a life lesson, and my wife's like, nope, baby's cut. We got to handle it. And but again, at the same time, I think it's your life experiences, especially when you've had success and failure.
Yeah,
and you're okay with it. I think.
Yeah. Well, you have to be with the okay.
You got to take
failure.
the L's. You got to be okay with the L's.
Because then there's no success.
Right.
And I tell my kids that all the time, especially my daughter right now, being competitive as she is in sports. I'm like, she has to learn how to accept that failure. And then when she does that failure, but then I'm like, well, why did this happen? Because you didn't work on this hard enough. And now you got to go back and work. I tell her, you can't just go to practice sometimes, kill it, and then don't come home and work on your craft. It's
exactly.
Like me, growing up, when I was DJing, that's all I did. I had tunnel vision. My friends would want to go out. I'm like, nah.
You were in the laboratory.
My basement,
trying to find the one thing that makes you different.
Correct.
But that one thing that made you different gave you longevity.
Correct.
And that's why you're one of the guys who I used to be a great DJ and stuff, because but music is the one thing that kind of comes back around.
Of course, the thing about what's great about me and there's no shelf life is because you could be hot and cold. And I've been hot and cold. I've been to the tippy top of that mountain. I've been kicked down to the bottom. I've climbed back up it. all my life. I mean, like I said, we're at what? I started in 1980. It's 40 years.
You've lived about 4 lives.
Yeah, I've played. I'll never forget my 25th anniversary in Cancun was for spring break because obviously everybody knew me for spring break stuff. And this girl came up to me and she's like, my mom saw you play here in 1999 and she said if you were still playing here, I needed to come see you. I'm like, what's your mom's name? You know what I mean? But I was like, whoa. But it was like when she said that to me, I was like, yo, like it was mind blowing to me because
all of a sudden you're generational.
I'm like, I played for your mom. Like, yeah, you're here to see me. Like, that's wild to me.
And you realize I'm getting old.
Well, besides that, I don't do spring break anymore. It's immoral now.
So
I can't do
where
that.
can if someone like for your next shows and stuff like that, where can people look
on
you up
Instagram at DJ Skribble with a K at DJ Skribble. Same thing on Facebook. That's all up on there. I'm starting to get into TikTok now because everybody told me my daughter told me I have to.
I'm not. I got a couple.
My daughter told me I had
medias.
to, so I have to do it.
Yeah, no, I let my wife handle all that stuff, man. Social
I handle all my social
all
media
that happens to me in
myself.
social media is I want to go drive to somebody's house and beat them up. Like that's all ends up happening. Is I'm like, yo, sign a waiver. I'll bring you on the show, and just so I can whip. Just sign here, sign here.
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. Like social media. I mean, there's so much crap out on it.
It's brutal.
But in order to stay relevant. I get
it. Yeah, I mean it's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil without question.
I get tired of it. One of the things I usually do on there, I give coaching tips at the end of the show. And usually I do it, and like we try to give advice, right? So, so I end the show like I always give advice. Like one of my biggest pet peeves is I'm like always put your shopping cart away. Like as I have very little respect for
like
man.
if you're at the shop and you see somebody just leave it in the parking lot,
I will confront.
You'll confront?
I'll be like, yo, what are we doing? Like it says a lot about a person.
I used to do that.
To me, it says a lot about your integrity.
But I used to do that. But again, as I've gotten older, I have to put it back now.
Well, what I do is my comfort is I take it and I do the loud. Oh man, I got it. I guess 10 feet was too much.
Yeah.
Because at one point I was at a place where there was like 10 shopping carts, and I was like, I got it, and I put them because first of all, they're getting away everyone's parking. It's not safe, and it just says a lot about you.
Well, you know the commercial about not becoming your parents.
Yeah,
I'm that guy. I'm becoming my parents.
My mom would leave the shopping cart.
I'm becoming my parents
because that was my job.
Yeah.
That was like, as a kid, that was a point of pride. That meant I was a big man.
Like I'm that guy
I was
now.
Trusted 15 feet away from the car without mom. My brother had to get his ass in the car, get the seatbelt on, and it would be like, "Hey, you can take the shopping cart to the thing," and I'll be like, looking at my brother like, "This is some man shit right here, bro." Yep. So I look at it as this great honor. So when I see people not doing it, I get offended. And another thing I always say, I think I'd say is like, fellas, open doors.
Oh, I open doors for everybody. That's one thing I say. And when they get shocked, a lot of people get, and I'm like, my mama taught me right. Like that's one thing when I walk into a store, I'm always opening a door. I'm always kind. Like I've learned, especially through COVID and all of that patience and kindness. Like if you throw me sugar, I'm giving you honey. Yeah. You throw me salt, I'm coming with you with pepper. But I don't want to do the pepper. I just don't have the time for that. Like there's no reason for it.
Energy.
It's true. That negative energy is just it's destructive. And with everything goes on in this world, you don't need that shit right now.
So your coaching tip would be, just be nice.
Just be nice.
Be nice, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. It's not hard. Like we don't have to be out there.
You don't have to win every argument.
No, that you don't.
And you don't have to start every argument. No. And you don't have to prove your point.
No.
And you're not on TV.
No.
I can't. People who like, a lot of people are saying, no one's watching you.
No.
It's just you and me in Target right
Correct.
now, bro. Like, I'm going to put the shopping cart away. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we've added to the coaches thing. Put your shopping carts away.
Yep.
Hold the door open.
Be nice.
And just be nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a beautiful world out there if you just take a 30,000-foot overview and look and take a step back. And there's things that you cannot control in your life, whether it's bills, whether it's this, whether it's that. But that doesn't. I told, don't let the tone of your life control the tone of your voice.
That's some serious coaching. You got you kids paying attention to that in there?
Don't let the tone of your life control the tone of your voice.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to hear my tone and you're not going to like it. See,
but no, it's true. But that's truth. And I live my life that way. Like I've met some amazing people in my life, and I've
been around the world. You're a friendly guy. You're like, hey, what's up, man? How are you? I say, hey, what's going on? We were friendly. we weren't like, I'm tired, you're tired, like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. And even the people around us weren't. I think that's where we're getting looked at. It wasn't because they recognized us. It's like, who do these two guys get off being sociable to each other in the TSA line?
Right.
When everyone else is pissed
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning, yeah. And also because we're travelers.
Yeah.
And we pack appropriately.
Yes, we do.
Do not overpack would be my other coaching tip to add. You don't need to bring.
Although no, like when I go on a long trip, I mean, you bring
the pillow.
I bring my sneakers.
But the difference is,
I bring a lot.
You can fit,
my girl hates me because I have just a suitcase for my sneakers.
Okay, but you also can fit a lot of your sneakers in the suitcase. I cannot. I have to have one clean pair.
What size?
Size 17.
So do you have like them custom made, or they actually make them?
Actually, I would have a lot of guys that.
Like, where does one find a size 17?
I have been lucky to where I got hooked up with when I was bodyguarding and coming up and chasing football. There was a equipment manager for the Los Angeles Clippers who, like, I ran across him randomly.
Right.
And he was like, "What size shoe do you wear?" And I was like, 17. He's like, "Just give me your address."
That's
so
awesome.
he sent me all my favorites, man, my 11s and my 3s and 4s, and he sent them all to me. And he sent me a box, like boxes taller than me. He's like, "We have so much of them." And, you know, because otherwise I had to shop at like Marshalls and get 2 years ago style. And then I just had built a relationship with Nike. And then when they went to the app, to the order thing, I got this direct thing for the athletic thing where there's a lot of big shoes. So now it's just whenever they get 3s and 11s, they just send them to me. And I save them because my wife got sick of me keeping them. So I keep them stacked up in my office. So
how many sneakers you say you got?
I'd probably say around 200 if I'm off the top of my head, because I don't throw anything away.
Neither do I. I'm a hoarder.
Yeah, when it comes to shoes and fish, I'm a hoarder.
And all my equipment, like I have all the boxes that my studio equipment comes in. I keep everything. Because she's like, "Well, why do you keep the boxes?" Because maybe one day I'll sell it, and if you have the box, it's worth more money.
Well, I always say, like, well, if the kids need to make something for school, they have because my boxes are awesome. You know, like you can make all kinds of school projects.
You're talking about your shoe box.
Oh,
yeah. Forget it. You can make menageries.
It took up a lot of space. Yeah, so you just flip it open and you do the. You know, we did the little pterodactyls hanging in the yarn and stuff when we were in school. So but that's one thing that I had to get better about was like, because I'd be like, well, you just got 2 new shoes, throw one out, and then I would just be staring, going, well, that one only has a scuff. That one only has a thing. This one's might be a collector's
If my shoes
item.
get a scuff, I'll lose my mind.
Yeah,
I'd like these are the Marvin.
Stepping on shoes is go time.
Yeah,
you have to.
I rarely wear like these is the second time I ever wore them. I figured I'm coming to Marvin the Martian because Marvin the Martian is like my favorite thing in the world. So like I have these. Clark Kent got me these actually.
Yeah, that.
God rest his soul.
That's very cool, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm sure I'm going to run into you at the airport again. Got to have you back on again once we get things rolling, because I want to hear about how the tours and stuff going. And
then you should just let me DJ your holiday
party.
We
should do something like that. We should do a DJ party in here. Yeah, look, you think you're invited. See the generation? See the
you know what? No, your boys out there, they knew everything. They knew a lot.
Yeah, they're very diligent.
That was good. Yes, I was very happy about that.
They're very good on.
And and he's a DJ and a producer too.
Oh, he wears a lot of hats. No, I did not. Yeah. I just knew he had 3 pitches. He had a curveball. He had a split finger.
No.
This one? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see him. I didn't know there was a 4th guy back there. And then the dude behind our 1s and 2s right there. He's married a year, right? So he's finding a way. Actually, I had a guest give him horrible advice. I had to jump in, telling him to play video games in front of his wife. I was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
I do that all the time.
You play in front of him?
Yeah, I play Battlefield 6 right now.
She doesn't get mad at you?
But no, she knows, like, because I don't do it a lot. There's only certain games.
Okay.
Like there's certain games, like The Last of Us. I was like a loser for like a month. Like Battlefield 6 right now, I'm a loser. Yeah. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I'm going to be the biggest loser.
I have to play with the kids. Like I'm obsessed with Fortnite.
There's just certain. I can't do Fortnite.
And me and my son.
Like I watched when the kids were coming up, they were playing Minecraft. I just couldn't understand.
I've built some amazing cities in Minecraft. Yeah,
I couldn't get into it.
And without cheating with the create. I do not create. That's another coach thing. Earn that shit. Do not create and just build. And I'll know, because when you have like gold roofs and stuff, like you didn't mind all that shit, bro. My kids outgrew Minecraft.
Yeah, mine did too.
I keep it because it's like, to me, it's like reading a book.
You still play
sometimes.
Minecraft? You still play it?
When I like to relax, I'll be like, go back and check my farm. See how my
Really?
chickens and stuff are doing.
I just like with all I love graphics. I need to have like
the graphics are terrible.
It's
but I also play my NBA 2K season nonstop.
Like Madden. I'm like there's certain things that or MLB. Like I'll have to like.
But I have to play the whole season.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Yeah.
When you remember when they had the Sony the handheld Sony?
I have the new one.
I have it. There's a new one.
Oh yeah. And it hooks right up to your PS5.
No, but could you take it on the road though?
Yeah,
like,
I take it everywhere and watch movies and stuff on it. It's a little bigger.
And it has the games inside it?
It doesn't need them. It's connected to your PS5. So whatever you're playing.
Wait, so the PS5
so
at
the
home
app on your phone that says PS1 on it
will like launch from your PS5 at home?
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, it's awesome. You just sit there.
I used to just sit on the plane and play MLB.
If you got
and play the
Wi-Fi,
entire season
your
from
Wi-Fi
spring
and
training.
if you got your phone next to you with the app, it's on there. You connect it, boom, all your games. So there doesn't need any memory. So I'll be like, oh, let me pick up on my basketball
I just
game.
got schooled. Yeah. I need that in my life.
My son wanted it, and I was like, you don't need it. But I might.
See, but okay, when was the age that you gave your kids access to video games? Did you think it was going to be like the coolest thing in the world? Like I'm going to get to play with kids.
I used to give my kids.
I want to choke my kids.
I used to give them joysticks with no batteries in it, so they think they would play, so I could play.
Right.
They'd be sitting on my lap, and they're playing the buttons, and I'm playing the game. And then I think it was my daughter that figured it out. My youngest one was like, I want your joystick. I was like, no. You play with the fancy.
No, but when they started to learn how to do it, and it
was something we did together. Like my kids my son plays, I think boys get a little more into video games. My daughter was an unbelievable shot in Red Dead Revolver. So
Red Dead Redemption, you mean?
Yeah, well, we call it Revolver.
Another great game.
Never finished it. We just live on the prairie and hunt.
You did 1 or 2? Red Dead
1 and 2, but like
Red Dead
I know he had tuberculosis, but I never finished the game.
That storyline was incredible.
I just live in the area. I hunt. I do a bunch of crimes. And I raise money. I pay it off.
Yeah, I still rob
but I will not finish it. I just live.
Oh, the ending is incredible, bro.
I'm not gonna watch him die. That's my guy.
The ending is incredible.
I just ride horses.
Like at the Last of Us I went to I had no idea what that game was, right? And I was like, I was just finished. I think I just had finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and I wanted another game, and they said like, "Yo, try this." And when that game started and Joel's daughter gets blasted in the head, and I'm like, what the hell did I just sign up for? Yo, at the end of that game, I cried. Like a little bitch. I cried at a video game. Like that's how emotional that game got me.
I got emotional when my daughter shot a charging grizzly in the game with a rifle with one shot. So I got it, Dad. Bam. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, we're on. Like, nice shot.
Now I try to play Call of Duty or Battlefield 6 with my kids, and they think they're cute because I'll spawn in and I'm dead in 30 seconds.
So we play in teams of 3, right? And my daughter will just climb somewhere because she's a shot, and my son and I will charge in, and we're doing all the shooting. But what she does is she steals kills. So she'll wait till you get the guy down to her and he's about to die, and then boom, headshot. I'm fine with it, but my son goes nuts. Like, you stole my kill. You stole my kill. And she's like, teamwork makes the dream work.
That's
boom.
Awesome. See, that's awesome when you do it together. Like I do that with my Frankie now because we both got Battlefield 6 so we could do the teams.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
So that's kind of where I play my basketball game by myself. But I don't do it at home anymore. I play in my office. Like when I go home, I get on the game. I get it. It's like you're on the road all the time. When you're home, leave your game.
Well, I wait till they go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's when everybody goes to sleep.
See, the truth is coming out. He just didn't come home and like, hey, everybody, how's it going?
No,
I got to get my
when
game
I
on.
come home, I'm hanging out with everybody.
See,
then
my advice to you was sound.
Right.
Do not ever turn the game on when it's wife time.
No, I don't mean. Now I know.
Okay.
Oh hell no! She'll shoot me in the face.
You will.
She's half Spanish, bro. She'll gut me.
Yeah.
Like no, that's it.
You will be looking for your PS5. Anyone seen it?
No.
And it's.
But I wait till they all go to bed, and then I'll stick there 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then until like. But then sometimes she's like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You're still playing this game.
And then you're like, oh, I can't sleep. And then like, well, try closing your eyes. Get off the game. Yeah.
Like I can't sleep without the TV on.
I was banned from playing games in the house, so I have to play in my office.
Then you were a super gamer then.
Yeah. No, I just like to play my basketball game, but I play the full minutes.
Right.
Oh, you do a 5 minutes game.
Okay.
I played 12 minutes. And I can't play just one game.
No.
And then I'll play that. I'll be like, hey, let me hop into Fortnite. And then I'll be like, one of my buddies will be like, hey, man, we're on Call of Duty. Man, I'm there. Yeah. Give me a minute. Let me get the headset. And then it's like.
Then you wait.
And then it's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, hey, honey. She's like,
in the morning.
The window closed at 8. So go back and play your games because there's nothing for you up in here. So a couple of those, and then you start weighing the treasure chest or the video game. Treasure chest gonna win every time.
Well, you get to do that, and then you go back to the game.
Yeah. Well, no, that doesn't work. Then
Doesn't work that way?
I'm not that clever. I just when
Damn,
no is
man,
no.
I guess
so
I'm just a lucky son of a bitch.
hey, listen, there's worse things in the world than having a wife that wants you present. It's when I would be worried when she's like, "Yeah, play your game." I'd be like,
Yeah, no. Then you know you got a problem.
Yeah, like,
if
hey,
she's like, "No, it's all right, honey.
Play your game.
Go play your game."
Would you like a drink?
Yeah, then you know.
I'm gonna leave.
I'm
just
going
gonna
right.
get up.
I'm like,
I'm gonna
yo,
leave.
what I do wrong?
I'm not getting poisoned by dying playing a video game.
I'm asking right away what I did wrong.
And with my luck, it'd be Minecraft, and be like, Tyrus died playing Minecraft. Like my complete rep would be
That
gone.
would be terrible.
He's like, yeah, he was battling a goblin when he killed over and then died. So and apparently he was uncreative. It would be the worst way for me to go out. So it's like I said, I'm glad they even want me around at this point.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of guys
I'm
on the road,
lucky, bro. I said, I came, I come from a divorced life. I was married 18 years, and it was rough, and it happened during COVID.
Yeah, I got divorced. I didn't do 18 years, but when I got divorced the first time, I was like, I will never do this again. And then I met my wife, and I was like, I'm glad I did this again. It's a weird thing when you meet the right person. Yeah,
I'm a lucky.
Yeah.
She's batshit crazy sometimes, and I hope she could hear that.
Well,
she knows that. But they all got to be a little bit batshit crazy. But one thing I could tell you,
I have never met her.
The one thing I could tell you though is like she didn't sign. She never had kids. She didn't sign up, and what she does for my kids, I can't mess around with that.
Well, you sound like, man, you are blessed and you are living
Very.
a wonderful life, man. And again, so glad I ran into the
Same
airport.
here, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
until
man.
next time,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, man. This is Planet Tyrus. Enough said.
Planet Tyrus, enough said.